Imagine this. You're working retail, just trying to get by, and your district manager strolls in one day with a smug little pep talk about dressing for the job you want. Everyone shrugs it off. Everyone except me. I decided, fine. If that's what she wants, I'll give her exactly what she asked for and maybe just a little more. If you've ever had a boss throw corporate nonsense at you, things that sound motivational but are actually insulting, hit that like button. Subscribe for more stories where justice gets served, and buckle up, because this is a story of how I turned my district manager's own words into my sweetest little revenge. I work at a mid-tier clothing store. Not high fashion, not discount fast fashion, just somewhere in between. Think business casual you can buy on sale. The dress code is pretty simple. Wear something from the store, look professional. Don't scare away customers. So most of us wear jeans, sweaters, and tops straight off the racks. Comfortable, easy, no stress. Then, cue corporate intrusion. Last month, our district manager came through. She's one of those people who walks in like she owns not just a store, but the air inside it. Clipboard in hand. Fake smile plastered on, delivering what she thinks is a rousing speech. You know the type. We're not just selling clothes, we're selling an image. Leaders stand out. Leaders think differently. And my personal favorite, dress for the job you want, not the job you have. Most of us tuned her out. We've heard it all before. But the thing is, those words stuck in my head, because the job I wanted wasn't just folding sweaters and scanning tags. The idea sparks, 2:30 to 4 o'clock. That night, I couldn't stop thinking about it. Dress for the job you want. She said it like some profound truth, but all I heard was a challenge. I don't have the money for Gucci or Armani, but I do have thrift stores. And with a little hunting, you can find magic. So I started small, one fitted suit jacket, charcoal gray, then a pair of tailored slacks, a crisp button-down shirt, a tie. By the end of the week, I had a full outfit. And the next morning, I showed up to my minimum wage retail job looking like I just stepped out of a corporate boardroom. The looks I got? Priceless. Co-workers laughed at first, then stared. Big interview later? Someone joked. Nope, I said casually. Just dressing for the job I want. Customers, though, that was where the real fun began. They assumed I was management. They'd approach me with returns, with complaints, even asking me to approve discounts. And every time, I'd smile politely and redirect them to my actual manager. Now, my manager, he was baffled. He didn't say a word, though, because technically I was following the rules. I was wearing our store's clothes underneath the blazer, and nothing in the handbook said no suits. So, day after day, I strutted in with my thrifted power suits. Black, navy, even pinstripes. And to complete the look, a cheap briefcase. I scored online with some leftover credit from a rewards app. Did I need a briefcase to fold jeans? Absolutely not. Did it make me look like the CEO of folding jeans? Soon, it wasn't just me. Co-workers started catching on. One of the guys showed up in a blazer. Another girl wore a pencil skirt with heels. Before long, half the store looked like we were about to pitch to Wall Street investors instead of restock cardigans. Customers began commenting on how professional our team looked. And the irony? Sales actually went up. People trusted us more. They thought we knew more, just because of some thrifted suits. Then came the moment of truth. A month later, our district manager swept back in for her usual inspection. Clipboard, fake smile, same old pep talk ready to go. She walked through the door and froze. There I was in full suit and tie, stocking shelves with my briefcase, sitting neatly on the counter beside me. My co-workers were all dressed to kill too. For 10 whole seconds, she just stared, like her brain couldn't compute what she was seeing. Finally, she turned to my manager and asked, "What is going on here?" And my manager, bless him, shrugged and said, "They're dressing for the jobs they want." Her face? Worth every second of ironing those thrifted suits. She didn't say a word about the dress code that day. Not one. In fact, she hasn't brought it up since. Instead, she's been bragging to other stores that we have the most professional-looking team in the district. So not only did I call her bluff, but I turned her own corporate nonsense into free bragging rights. And she can't take credit for it, because we all know exactly where the idea came from. Sometimes, revenge doesn't have to be loud. It doesn't have to be dramatic. Sometimes, the sweetest revenge is just quietly, stubbornly doing exactly what they told you to do until it blows up in their face. So, to the district manager who thought she was dropping wisdom that day, thank you, because your little cliche turned our scrappy retail team into the sharpest-looking crew in the district. And it turned me, the underpaid employee you barely glance at, into the unofficial boss of the store. Your move. The moral? Be careful what advice you throw around, because sometimes people will take you at your word, and sometimes that word will come back to bite you. If this story gave you a smile, or maybe reminded you of your own boss horror story, smash that like button. Comment below with the pettiest, most satisfying revenge you've ever seen. And of course, subscribe for more stories that prove karma always finds a way.